it interesting that the Indy 500 decided to do what the WNBA refuses to do, and that's make Caitlin Clark the face of their organization. So you may have seen the other day that the WNBA were promoting, I guess, a triple header, a bunch of games.
They didn't use her.
And when it came to the Indiana Fever game, they chose a player averaging 1 point a game and not Caitlin Clark, who's averaging like 28 points a game.
Or Leah Boston, former first overall pick.
They decided to stab her in the back again.
Damn.
Caitlin Clark arrived at the Indy 500 and instantly stole the spotlight. Not a single engine mattered anymore. The crowd went wild, fans were cheering at the top of their lungs, and social media still can't stop talking about it. Was it the national anthem? A jaw-dropping half-court shot? Or did she simply create the biggest sports moment of the year without even trying? What happened next left everyone completely stunned.
Now, despite there not being any basketball going on, Caitlin Clark has found her way back in the media. Today, she is at the Indy 500 to be the Grand Marshal. And you know Caitlin Clark came out in a grand style, man. Thousands of fans literally is at the Indy 500, and Caitlin Clark shut the place down. Now, videos are starting to come out online, pictures, and we finna react to it all. Our girl Caitlin Clark put on a spectacular performance last time she played.
Did you know one basketball player can enter America's biggest race and become louder than 33 engines roaring together? That is exactly what happened when Caitlin Clark arrived at the Indianapolis 500, and the event suddenly became a racetrack mixed with total fan hysteria.
And they hate Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I know why.
The Indy 500 came out and said, we'd like you to be our Grand Marshal. So Caitlin Clark can be the face of the Indy 500, but cannot be the face of the WNBA. Make that make sense.
I'll tell you how it makes sense.
Oh, that's right. They hate her maybe because she's, I don't know, a straight white woman?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
That's not why.
Is that possible?
Paige Beckers is a better player. Here's why.
Is that possible?
She's not complaining to the refs nonstop with them.
She took on that role with effortless confidence, making one thing obvious. This woman is no longer only a basketball player. She has become a powerful cultural force, and smart institutions know they should embrace her before somebody else does.
She was 22, 2-9, man. Just a lit weekend for Caitlin Clark. Now, we do know her parents. It was rumored that her parents, her aunts and uncles, and everybody came in from out of town for this moment. There was Caitlin with thousands of fans at the Indy 500.
Hey, it's Caitlin. I'm here at the Indy 500 with all my friends. I'm excited to be here first time.
So this is her first time there. And yeah, man, Lexi Hall looked like she came to show support with Caitlin Clark.
Giving her the keys to the Indy 500 was not a random PR move created inside a boardroom. It was a clear and deliberate recognition that her influence goes far beyond basketball, reaching places where speed, tradition, and huge crowds come together.
Caitlin Clark out at the Indy 500 today, ladies and gentlemen, looking fresh, looking like the global icon and superstar that she is. You know, they've been putting Clark's picture on a lot of the race cars and stuff because she's the most electrifying woman in women's basketball. Dope to see Clark out here having a good time. A certain fan base always talking about Met Gala or who's more marketable.
And the crowds absolutely reacted to her presence. The stands did not give polite applause like they were at a symphony. They exploded. Security lines became longer than anyone's patience during a blowout game. Autograph requests came from every direction, while the number of phones raised in the air formed a small constellation above the track. Nothing felt staged. It was natural chaos, the kind that happens when real star power meets an audience desperate for excitement. What made the moment even more hilarious was how easily she outshined the actual race before it even began. The internet did what it always does, lost its mind in real time, clipping every reaction, every crowd roar, and every shocked commentator trying to understand how a basketball player stole the spotlight from one of the world's most famous auto races.
Man, the takeover is underway. Caitlin Clark taking over at the Indy 500. Take a look at this here.
A woman of the people.
See, now I gotta go to an Indy 500 to see what's really going on. I gotta go to one now. Indy 500 and F1 is on my list.
Grown adults acted like they had never seen a celebrity before, and maybe they had not, because Caitlyn operates on another level. She attracts people who do not even follow sports, families, casual fans, curious newcomers, and lifelong racing fans suddenly chanting her name between engine roars. Of course, that kind of attention does not go unnoticed, especially by people who have watched her rise with increasingly visible frustration. Angel Reese, for example, appears to be handling it in the most predictable way. While Caitlyn is turning legendary racetracks into extensions of her brand, Angel seems caught in a cycle of side eyes and quiet frustration. Reese has talent, no doubt, but she does not have the same massive fan base that treats Caitlyn Clark like a once-in-a-generation star. Caitlyn's fans do not simply show up, they show out. They fill arenas, flood social media, travel across state lines, and lose their voices cheering for a player whose joy and
multiple 20-plus 30-point games and all these assists leading your team. You can do off the court shit like this in the middle of this season, and it's cool because Clark is a hooper and she can make layups. Yeah, it's great to see Clark out here represent. I think she said this is her first time doing it, but it's great because, like I say, with the NASCAR, the race car shit, they've been putting Clark's picture on some of the cars. That's dope to be represented like that as an athlete, especially for women's sports. Just growing the game, man. We love you, Caitlyn.
What sets Caitlyn apart from many rising stars is her wide appeal across different audiences, something that feels rare in today's divided world. She is not only popular with basketball fans in the Midwest. She connects with people who have never watched a WNBA game. Racing fans who normally would not care about women's basketball suddenly paid attention because she was there. Kids, parents, grandparents, men, women, and people from very different political and cultural backgrounds all came together because watching her do anything feels exciting. The funny part is that some people still try to minimize it. They act as if her impact is created or temporary, like the loud Indy 500 crowds were some kind of shared illusion. But every number keeps showing the opposite. Ticket sales, TV ratings, merchandise, and social media engagement all rise when Caitlyn is involved.
So, let me start off by saying this. The WNBA is failing Caitlyn Clark. It just is what it is. And if you guys want to sit here and there's people who are going to come into my comments and say, oh my God, here you are, black woman, caping for this white girl. I am. I'm putting the cape on for her because
That's the first thing they say. That's the first thing they say. Oh, well, you're black. Why are you defending her? That's the first thing they always gonna say.
It has to be said, and I have to call it out and call it for what it is. It is starting to become evident. I'm somebody who knows.
The league spent years trying to find the formula for mainstream relevance, and it turns out the answer was a generational talent who passes better than many guards in the men's game, shoots from logo range with ease, and carries herself without any pretense. She makes difficult things look normal, and that skill mixed with charisma is powerful in the attention economy. The timeline itself is almost unbelievable. Not long ago, women's basketball was fighting for basic visibility, working with smaller crowds and limited TV coverage. Then Caitlyn Clark arrived, delivered performances that will live in highlight reels for years, and suddenly every game became an event. Fans celebrated loudly and wildly, the kind of reaction usually saved for a game-winning shot or a dramatic overtime finish. Instead, it happened because she waved a flag and smiled. That is star power at its purest. And while Angel Reese continues on her own path, bringing the competitive fire that makes her dangerous on the court, the difference in outside excitement is difficult to ignore. Caitlyn's fans do not simply support her, they are fully committed, ready to turn any place into a circus if she is even close by.
All Daytona is, of course, the Indy 500, and Caitlyn Clark was asked to come up there. We got some video, we got some pictures, and all of this is going absolutely crazy online. Let's check this out, her walking in. There she is, walking in right there. No sound. Pretty cool, pretty cool. There's also this entire red carpet situation. Let me just find it here. And
that kind of energy is intoxicating and hard to replicate. Reese builds her brand around toughness and flair, which connects strongly with her core supporters, but it has not yet evolved into the same nationwide, cross-sport phenomenon that Caitlyn has created. In that environment, jealousy is almost an understandable reaction. When someone else is drawing massive crowds while you are still working towards similar recognition, It can create tension that shows up in subtle ways through interviews, social media, and overall perception. Her family acts as a grounding force, keeping her connected when the hype begins to feel overwhelming. Lexi Hull being present adds a layer of teammate support, highlighting real solidarity within the Fever organization and genuine appreciation for what she brings every night. These personal details matter because they stop the story from turning her into something untouchable. She is extraordinary, but she is still part of a team and a real-world environment, not operating in isolation.